man, Joshua Van is low key becoming a star. Like Joshua Van is becoming a star. I don't know how, but flip. Joshua Van on my channel has the biggest, my biggest video on the channel is Joshua Van, and even now, like I just recently posted his fight yesterday, and man, the numbers are going crazy, better than even Ilya Tuporia, which is kind of crazy. I think that's why the UFC was like, nah, man, Joshua Van, come back. Let's put you on International Fight Week, in order to boost the numbers somehow. But yeah, Brendan Royval versus Joshua Van. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I like this matchup for Joshua Van. Not because I don't think he's skilled enough. I just feel like he hasn't faced enough. I wish the UFC would have built him up a little bit instead of throwing him into the wolves against Brendan Royval. Especially when you consider the fact that Brendan Royval just beat the Tatsuro Taira. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Tatsuro Taira. And Tatsuro Taira is actually one of the most skilled flyweights. And you know Brendan Royval disposed of him. And I honestly didn't think Brendan Royval would actually win that fight. And you know what? Royval actually won that particular fight. Um, so I don't like the fact that they are giving Van such a massive test so early, especially when he's ranked number 11 in the division. I wish they would have given him a couple more fights just to allow him to slowly get into the groove of things. But I guess it's also because they feel like Joshua Van maybe is a potential star. I personally like he's already a star based on how his videos are performing on my channel. I feel like Joshua Van is already a star. Um, so I guess maybe the UFC felt the same way, and that's why they're trying to push the guy. But I think this is a little bit too early, too soon for him, you know. But yeah, let's get to the breakdown. So finishing ability, I feel like Royval has a higher finishing ability, 76% finishing rate. Joshua Van has a 70 or 64% finishing rate. I don't know how much it counts, but yeah. Hera saying Joshua Van by KO in the third round. I don't care what others think. I mean, I can respect that. In all honesty, my subscribers and I are officially picking Brandon Royval, but I want Joshua Van to win. I think it's going to be good for the sport. I think Joshua Van is gonna be a massive star if he manages to become a champion in the UFC. I think somehow I feel like Joshua Van has a massive following. Somehow I don't know, wherever he's from, it feels like maybe he's getting support because, like I said at the beginning of this video, so many of my videos like just explode whenever it's Joshua Van. So I think Joshua Van Wood will become a massive star if he can find a way to actually become a champion. But I think this is a little bit too early for him, especially because even though I don't think it's too much of a short notice, because Joshua Van was fighting a couple of weeks ago, UFC 316, right? I think it was UFC 316. Joshua Van was fighting on that particular card. Um, so even though maybe he might have not been preparing for a fight, he just got out of the camp. So I don't think he's too much out of shape to actually be in this particular fight. So let's go to the striking. Before we get to, actually, let's start with the reach advantage. So reach, oh my goodness. I honestly thought Brendan Royval would have a massive reach advantage. But it's not that massive, man. Brendan Royval has like a 3-inch reach advantage. I genuinely would have thought it would have been a lot bigger than that. Shit. Now I'm a little bit worried about my pig. I'm, like, I'm a little bit worried because, in all honesty, a lot of what I thought hinged on Brendan Royval having like a really massive reach advantage. But 3-inch reach advantage is not that big, man. Wow. Okay, Brandon Royval has a 3-inch reach advantage, but as far as volume, oh my goodness. Should I have picked Joshua Van? Joshua Van has double the output of man. If you get a better camera and mic, you would blow up. Yeah, I get that. I know, man. I'm still building. I'm not yet monetized, so that's basically why. Who wanna who gonna beat this fight? What do you think, man? I'm still breaking it down, but to answer you, my dude, yeah, I'll get a better camera. I'll get a better microphone. I actually do have a better microphone, but I don't think it works on my cell phone. Um, yeah, I promise I'll try to get a better phone, another camera and microphone. But for now, I have to make do with what I have right now. So as far as output, Joshua Van throws twice as much as Brandon Royval. I mean, a 3-inch reach advantage for Brandon Royval is not massive. So, damn man, I'm a little bit worried, man. Hera, I support you, bro. I just subscribed. I appreciate that. Gas stream, since I'm busy, yeah. Um, so I honestly appreciate that. I support you. I just subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do watch alongs on the channel. There's the subscribers also vote in the community section. So yeah, if you want to, the biggest part of the channel is in the short section of the channel. So just go through the channels. Welcome to the family. So yeah, Joshua Van throws twice as much as Brandon Royval. Defensively, I don't know. I'd give Brandon Royval a bit of an advantage. I think he's a little bit better defensively. And then as far as technical striking, I think I would say Joshua Van is a little bit better technically at striking. So I feel like I'm contradicting my pick right now. Oh my god. I don't know, man. It's just looking like Joshua Van might actually get the upset here. You know, I think Joshua Van is probably going to be the best underdog on this card. I haven't said this in a very long time, but Joshua Van has an amazing output. Brandon Royval has pretty decent striking defense, but it could also be because um, what do you call him? Joshua Van throws more, so obviously he's going to get touched up a little bit more. But his striking defense is pretty decent. Brandon Royval has horrible takedown defense. I know he was able to beat Tatsuro Taira, who is an incredible grappler, but Tatsuro Taira did not have the full skill set that Joshua Van has. Right, the Joshua Van can strike, Joshua Van can grapple, and I think that's going to be the problem for Brandon Royval. Um, Damn it, there's so much. Like a big part of me wants to go with Joshua Van. If you're watching this, man, All I'm going to say, I don't know who's the favorite. I'm assuming Joshua Van is going to be an underdog here. I think Joshua Van has a high probability of winning this fight. Brendan Royval has horrible takedown defense. On the feet, I genuinely feel like Joshua Van might have a bit of an advantage because of the volume, because of the technical striking. And even though defensively Joshua Van gets hit quite a lot, it's probably, for me, it's because of the volume. It's because he's so active, and it's because he tries to actually throw as much as possible. So obviously he gets touched up a little bit in the process, but I think his defense is pretty decent. So in all honesty, I would honestly say even Joshua Van has better defense, striking wise. So whether this fight stays on the feet or on the ground, I honestly think Joshua Van is going to win this fight. I'm not going to change my pick. I'm not going to change my pick, but this is the first time in a very long time that I've disagreed with my own pick. But yeah, based on what I'm looking at, I think Joshua Van is going to win this fight, man. Um, but the only thing that I would give to Brendan Royval is he has faced a higher level competition, so maybe he might have an advantage somehow because of that. But as far as fighting skills, technical striking, as far as grappling abilities, both offensively and defensively, I think Joshua Van is a little bit better. And even at mixing it up, man, a part of me wants to change my pick so badly, but I have to stick with my prediction strategy. I hope Joshua Van wins this one. Um, I think it's going to be better for the flyweight division. I think Joshua Van is going to be a massive star. I've been saying this. I think he's already climbing. If he wins this one and somehow eventually wins a championship, I think he's going to be one of the biggest stars in the UFC, even at flyweight. Trust me. So hopefully Joshua Van wins this one, but my subscribers and I are going with Brandon Royval. But yeah, I think Joshua Van is the best underdog on this card in a very long time. Um, Hera, Van got better boxing, but Royval has more experience and range. So if Van get through the range, it is Van who win because Van doesn't really have to worry about takedowns. Yeah, and especially because I genuinely feel like what do you call him? Van is so good at mixing everything up. Like he can actually grapple, he can strike, he can actually mix it up to give um, Royval a problem. I think the biggest issue that Tatsuro Taira had when he was fighting Royval was because Tatsuro Taira did not have good striking. In this situation, Joshua Van has the striking to give Royval problems. Only on the feet. Even if Joshua Van decides not to grapple, he can still be a problem for Royval, right? But and then on top of that, when you combine the fact that Joshua Van can wrestle, and on top of that, Royval does not have the best takedown defense, I think it's a recipe for disaster. But I'm still going to lean more towards Royval's experience. I've seen him fight Tatsuro Taira, irrespective of what I think about his takedown defense. I still feel like Royval has fought really talented grapplers and has survived the Pantoja. Tatsuro Taira, he even beat Tatsuro Taira, who I actually thought he would lose against. So Royval has actually proven that it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, Pantoja is very well rounded, and he struggled a little bit against Royval. There were moments whereby I thought Royval would actually win that fight. So I honestly am going to lean towards the experience because ultimately, even though I feel like Joshua Van has been fighting pretty decent competition and has been fighting really well and has the technique to actually become a champion. Ultimately, I haven't really seen him against the top five contender, and I've been saying on my previous breakdowns that people like Hamza Chimaev were coming into the UFC finishing everyone without ever being touched, and then once he fought someone in the top five, he got touched up very much, right? So the top five of the UFC division or of the UFC is a different beast on its own, man. So I don't know how he's going to perform against the top five contender. Um, yeah, man, it's time to see if he's as good as we think he is. I think he is really good, but it's time to actually find out if he's really that good. I genuinely hope he actually wins this one, but my subscribers and I are going with Brandon Royval. Um, Hera, this fight gonna be real close. I respect your thought too. Thank you. I appreciate that, my guy. So yeah, that's my breakdown. If you just missed it, click on the channel, go to the live section. I already broke down Ilia Tuporia versus Charles Oliveira, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France, and obviously this one. If you just missed them, just go to the live section of the channel. If you're new to the channel, go to the shorts section of the channel, go to the video, go to the community section of the channel. Every part of the channel is very active. Um, yeah, and consider subscribing and sharing the channel. It's gonna help a lot. I'll see you guys tomorrow when I break down every single I break down every single fight on every single card. So I'll see you guys tomorrow around this time. If you wish to join me, I'd appreciate it. Until then, I love and appreciate all of you. Deuces.